Hey guys, happy Friday and welcome to Morning Joe with me, Jim. And look, there are I've had multiple conversations this week with people who are like, "Yeah, I want to get pre-approved, but I don't know, is now a good time to buy? I'm nervous." And I understand that because if you look at the headlines and YouTube videos, some of these YouTube videos are wild. Based nothing in fact, but it's all emotional. But if you look at them, it's like everything's going to crash. It's coming down. Mortgage rates are up, et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted to share something with you that I did I should share my screen, that I did for someone who was in the same boat just recently. And basically just wanted to make sure they weren't making a bad decision, right? And I understand that. So sometimes helping to make the decision is just a matter of putting facts and figures around in place of emotion, basically. And so this guy came and he said, "Look, I'm renting right now and I'm paying $2,600 a month, which is a ton of money for a relatively small house. And I don't like doing it." And he had some renter's insurance, of course. I don't know how much, I just made up a number. And on the renter's insurance side. And he said, "I want a house, but around 400,000, hopefully less than that," right? At the time I did this, rates were easily 6%. They've come down. Rates are lower now, which is great. But let's keep it at 6, and because they could go back up. We don't know. In the short term, they could. Yesterday they got better by 20 basis points. That's interesting. So here's what it looks like. If you buy in year one, including budgeting for maintenance and repairs, right? Including all that, including everything, taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs, because it's your house. Something goes wrong, you got to fix it. We're saying it's going to cost him about almost $3,000 a month. That's more than he's paying in rent. Obviously, I don't want me to overstate the obvious, but here's what happens. Rent doesn't stay stagnant for years on end. Generally, it generally goes up, right, by 3% a year or something like that. I actually put 6% a year because it's been going up very quickly, and I think if inflation keeps going, rents will keep going up at a higher pace as well. So that's what I did. I said, you've got the purple line here and the I'll call it blue here, and it catches up with each other pretty quickly and evens out. But the rent keeps going up, but the fixed rate payment doesn't, right? And so the cash flow difference, if you're in a home for 9 years, and the average person right now, I think, is in a home for 10 years. Last I read a stat, used to be 7. I think it's growing. Let's say you're in a home for 9 years. Cash flow alone, just cash out of pocket, you're better off by about $40,000 at the end of that 9 years. Now it's 9 years and 40 grand. It's still a lot of money, but it's spread over a lot of time. But then look at this. The appreciation gain. The forecast appreciation for Charleston County is supposed to be a little over 5% per year for the next several years. That's kind of a consensus number. And so the home will be worth, you paid $390 for it. In our example, it'll be worth just over $600,000. So you gain about $220,000 in appreciation by owning, but you're also paying down the mortgage, right? Part of that $29.71 per month outlay, part of it goes back to you because it's just paying down the mortgage, it's paying down the principal, and that's your money, and that's about $50,000. So you are a little more than $250,000 to the better by buying, if you hold for 9 years, if you live in the house for 9 years, as opposed to renting. And that's taking into account that you sell in year 9, and it costs money to sell because you have to pay the realtor commissions and all of that, right? And you have closing costs to get into it. I put the closing costs really high. I included escrows, which is actually your money. But, I'm going kind of worst case scenario here. But what if you're only in the house for 5 years and then you want to move? Well, you're still better off by almost $100,000, right? And you can see if after 3 years you're like, yeah, I don't really like this neighborhood, it's time to move, you're still better off, $36,000, $37,000. So that's 10 years. If you are kind of looking at jumping into the market and stopping renting and buying, Let's do one of these same scenarios for you and put some numbers around it, right? Put some hard numbers around what it will look like to buy instead of rent. It just helps to make the decision. It's not the all-in factor, but I think it certainly helps to make a decision. So I hope that helps. Have an awesome Friday. It's a beautiful day. I am hoping to get out early today, and I hope you do too. But in the meantime, if I can help with a pre-approval, I'm happy to. Let me know.